to all my scarves and my fears and my files. Welcome and thank you for tuning in. And welcome to all my 1 million subscribers. Okay, so I haven't said that in a minute, so it was a tongue twister, but it's okay. But we are here today to talk about Beef, okay? Beef is on Netflix. I believe it's a series. I binge watched with my boyfriend, and we watched all of it in one shebang. So I'm here to give you a brief synopsis and to give you an overview and a review. I haven't done a review in a minute on any seasons in a while or any movies, so I'm trying to get back into it. And you guys, charged to my head and my heart. I know I've been here in a month. It's because every time I go to record on the weekend, I guess I'd be tired. Anyway, I digress. So, alright, so I'm looking at my phone because the characters, I kind of forgot the names, so it's all good, but it's all good. So, anyway, so basically, I'm going to try the green screen thing. Remember how I used to do with the other shows, but anyway. Alright, so Beef. We're going to talk about Beef, okay? And this is basically, you can definitely relate this to real life. And because there are people that do get unalived because of certain people, you know, with road rage. You know, some people just don't like the cutting off, don't like the this, don't like the that. And they go to the extreme. And this is what shows the extreme, okay? So basically, Danny and Amy is kind of like the main characters. And so basically, Danny is a contractor. He basically does odds and end jobs, and he has a business. He doesn't have a business. It's not legit. He's trying to get off the ground, but not really. So it's kind of hard. He's trying to bring his parents home, you know, from another country. So he's just trying to get his money up and stuff like that. So that's basically what he's doing. So he basically buys things and goes and returns them. So that's what he was doing, going to return them. He didn't have receipts. So, you know, he got a little frustrated, and I believe he brought the things back to his car. And so as he was leaving, I don't know if it was her backing out or him going or vice versa, but she was backing out, and he was laying on the horn like, okay, you about to hit me, or something happened. I don't know if he was backing out. I forgot what it was. But anyway, so basically, before she drove off, she put up a middle finger. And so the lady name is Amy. He didn't know it was a lady because he was trying to see the face, and he still couldn't see her face. So he was driving. She was throwing milkshakes and stuff like that. And he was, you know, trying to drive around like saying, who was this? Who was this? And then they done drove over flower beds and stuff like that. She done backed up all the way back to his car to act like she was going to back up into him. And she didn't. And so she kept driving off. And she had, I guess, a Lexus or Mercedes truck. I don't know. And he had like I believe a pickup truck or just a work truck or something like that. And as she was doing all the backing up, he, you know, remembered her license plate. So then he went on some site and looked up her license plate, and then he found out where she lived. And so then he went to her house, and then he basically was acting like he was just in the neighborhood when he really wasn't. He really basically looked her up so he could go to her house, and I don't know, he just wanted to, I don't know what he wanted to do. But anyway, so the husband, I think, let him in and stuff like that. He peed all over the floor, and she knew who it was. So then she started looking up, and I forgot how she went about to look it up, whatever. But anyway, so then she had, I guess back in the past, or something happened to where she had some issues with GUNs. And so her husband switched the password to the GUN because they have a daughter, so they keep it locked away. And so she was like, you know, honey, you know, trying to say, why you didn't tell me, you know? And oh yeah, she is an owner. She has her own business of a very successful flower shop or plant shop or what have you. And he, her husband, his father, whom passed away, basically had a lot of money. I guess he inherited, I believe, I'm not sure, but he, you know, made certain antiques as far as like certain chairs that were very unique and cost a lot of money that people want to get their hands on and stuff like that. But the husband was always hesitant to, you know, sell his stuff. I'm guessing because he didn't want to let go, whatever the case is. But anyway, they probably said it in there, but anyway, I digress. So anyway, and the mother's still living too. So she's very rich. You know, they're rich together. Okay, they have a lot of money and stuff like that. So basically, she figured out the passcode because she was like, okay, maybe it's birthday, something like that, or whatever. So she figured it out, got the GUN out, and she was basically like, you know, having like some type of, you know, sexual or some type of stimulation by the fact that she got the gun, rubbing it against her. I'm just like, okay, this is very weird. So that's what she was doing. And then I think her husband called her or whatever like that. So anyway, so basically she went to go see where Danny was and looked him up and stuff like that. So it became a back and forth thing. She would like text him through some app or whatever like that, say I'm gonna get you, or she would say certain stuff or whatever like that. And it was also like some like celebrities, like and there's one nosy girl, you know, that really was jealous and low-key didn't like her, didn't like Amy, wanted to be in her shoes and stuff like that. So she was trying to find out, you know, because they caught her on, they didn't know it was Amy, but it's been a viral video that was floating around of her in the car and stuff like that. So I don't think they knew what type of car. I'm like, y'all know what type of car she drove and stuff like that. But anyway, I digress. So everybody was trying to figure out who that was, and I remember they showed her and she was like, oh, what's going on, like trying to act like, you know, she knew who it was, but she never really told anybody. So the problem just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so just keep note that is a young lady that works at her shop, okay? And yeah, so just keep that in mind. So it's a young lady that works at the shop, whatever. But yeah, so anyway, so they was going back and forth with each other, doing certain stuff. And Danny trying to get his parents back over there, so he got an apartment because they was living in like an extended stay hotel or a hotel, whatever it was, motel. And his crazy cousin just got out of jail, so he had some like money stashed away in some type of like, you know, toys or something like that. They said this is this and that, this is that, whatever like that. He was telling him that, you know, you could put the business in my name or you could do this or that. So it was like a shaky business. It wasn't really like a whatever business. The parents were like, you know, always disappointed with him, and even the young son, they're like, you know, you're not really doing nothing either. And so, but the younger son was trying to go to college, but I will get into that later. But anyway, that didn't happen because of, I will let y'all know later on. So then Danny started like trying to venture out, trying to find other ways to make money and stuff like that. And so then they had an auction. Amy and the husband, they had an auction with the father's chair. He didn't want to sell, whatever like that. So Amy was getting anxious because she found out that Danny and the brother was at the club. So I don't know if this was before or after she made a fake Instagram catfish, and she made an Instagram of the young lady that works at the flower shop, her employee that works there, and then she was, you know, doing catfish, whatever like that, and they didn't know it was, you know, Amy and stuff like that. So Danny was trying to tell his younger brother, like, you know, maybe it's a bot and stuff like that, so be careful, just trying to school him and stuff like that, but he didn't want to hear it, he didn't want to listen, whatever like that. So then I believe Amy had spray painted Danny's car and did something or whatever. And then conveniently one day, Danny's younger brother had came to the plant shop, and I don't know if he saw the girl, the picture that she used, but she's doing all this also because the husband had sent a picture of the girl that worked at the shop, and he was like, oh, I'm sorry and stuff like that. And he's been, you know, being googly eyed over her pictures and doing, you know, sexual things, you know, with the picture. But anyway, so so that's that with that. So yeah, so she basically kind of found out, and that's how she started doing the catfish and stuff like that. And I believe she kissed the young boy. So like the boy was like really young. I think he was in his like late 20s or something like that, or 25 to, you know, something like that. But anyway, so she did have sexual relations with him, and the mother, when it happened, the mother was in the house, and Danny wanted to do another thing. He wanted to, like, you know, he said they have a lot of stuff. They have a lot of you know, stuff that we could use to sell and stuff like that, so we could just break in. But then he said, you know what, I don't want to do that, you know, we're not gonna do that. But the two friends still wanted to go ahead and do that. He called them and said, you know, just, that's it, I don't want, you know, don't do it, whatever like that. He was like, oh, we already got the stuff, or we getting the stuff to, you know. And then he's like, nah, call it off. But, you know, anyway, those two went anyway. Danny didn't go, they didn't tell him, so they went. And then the mother, something happened with the mother, so she ended up in the hospital. So the mother knew the secret or whatever, that she had sexual relations with Danny's younger brother. And so Amy felt indebted to the mother, and she was like, you know, whatever, taking her shopping and stuff like that, like buttering her up and stuff like that, you know, whatever. And the husband, that's the husband's mother, her mother-in-law, she's in debt. You know, she's been trying to call stuff, and they've been calling her, the lawyers and stuff, and saying that, you know, she's in debt and this is happening and blah, 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 and all this stuff is going on and whatever like that. So the mother was, you know, just basically wanted to try to, like, you know, whatever. So also Amy was trying to get this celebrity, this very big celebrity that has a lot of money, to purchase or buy her business for a big amount of money, like basically buy her all the way out or whatever, and she was going to take a big bulk of money. And you know, she wanted to do that and stuff like that. So then what happened? So then a whole other thing happened. Danny, he basically was working for the church, and his cousin got intertwined and was trying to get money in that way, trying to scheme and stuff like that. And he got upset because something happened, and I don't know if this was before or after the apartment had burned down. And Danny was trying to say, because this is when his parents had came, and the parents was like, oh my goodness, or whatever like that. So Danny thought it was the pastor of the church, because the pastor of the church, his ex-girlfriend was married to the pastor of the church, and I thought it was the pastor of the church too. I thought it was the pastor of the church. He didn't think, he said it was Amy. And so when he said it was Amy, he said that to his younger brother. His younger brother then went to the house, and then he said on the Ring camera, and it popped up on their phone, on Amy's phone and the husband's phone, saying that he done had sexual relations with with Amy, and blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, bam, everything blew up or whatever. And then the husband and the child, they left or whatever like that. And then Amy was upset and stuff like that. And so then I think she went to Danny, and then I don't know, one time she tried to bribe him, like she was going to pay him all $25K to $50K or something like that. Then something happened to where she was driving, and he just said he was done with it. He don't want nothing to do with it, blah, 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 whatever. He was trying to walk away. He was trying, but she kept going. So she went, and she was driving, and they drove off into a ditch, or something happened. And next thing you know, they was together by themselves, you know, in a not in a ditch, but they was like far off, you know, from creation, from where, you know, where they were, whatever. So they ate some poison and stuff. Their stomach was hurting. They was hallucinating. It was just crazy. I thought it was the end for them. Like, they was just really, like, it was crazy. So then they finally got themselves together to where, you know, they could leave out, because I think she broke her ankle, something like that. He picked up, and they was leaving out. And then the husband, then they started getting all the text messages, because whatever. I forgot one part, a big part. Okay, so before all this, they was at the lady's because they had kidnapped her daughter. I forgot. And they had kidnapped her daughter. Danny had kidnapped her daughter by mistake, because he went to her house, and then I think he wanted to do something, and the daughter and the dog ended up in his car, and then the police had came after, and then he didn't turn around, so he just kept going. And so he was saying that he had the daughter and stuff like that, and then telling them where to meet and stuff like that. So the mother, Amy, was telling them to meet her at the lady that was going to buy her business out, and she's very rich and stuff like that. And the girl that was there, I believe that was her girlfriend or whatever, and she was like the girl that I was telling you earlier that didn't like Amy and stuff like that. I didn't get too much into it, because that's, you know, if y'all when y'all watch it, y'all see, but I'm just giving y'all a brief synopsis. And so then, anyway, she didn't like her anyway, and she was getting jealous there too. She was getting jealous that, you know, the lady was showing her stuff, showing her like the Cleopatra hats and stuff like that, all the stuff that she got from different countries, stuff that you know, that cost $1 million or $1 billion, that was worth a lot of money. And so then Amy told them, and it was the crazy cousin, and, you know, and Danny and stuff like that, because the crazy cousin was like, we're gonna do like a ransom basically or whatever. So came up with the idea. They left out, and they went in there, and then Danny and the younger brother was on the outside. They got locked out, or they couldn't come in for some reason. And so then they had tied up the millionaire, let's call it a millionaire, the millionaire's girlfriend, and Amy's Amy, I don't know if she was tied up, but anyway, so they got untied or was leaving. So the millionaire lady had a panic room, and so they was running, and as they was running, the girl pressed the button before the millionaire lady could come in. So she told her, don't press it or whatever. So as she was going, she she fell and then her head got crushed. I was like, oh my goodness. And then she was just crying. It was like boom, boom. It kept, whatever like that. So then they found her in the panic room and stuff like that. And then they found the lady deceased. And then, I think there was some gas or something happening. And then, so the police came and stuff like that. And then the, younger brother and Danny was outside still, so they was trying to get up, and he was like, no, come on, give me your hand and stuff like that. Like, the younger brother was like, come on, he told him to go and stuff like that. Go ahead, you don't need me, I'm keeping you back, I'm selfish and stuff like that. And so he told him what happened. I think it was then when he told him what happened when the younger brother wanted to go to college, and he told him to mail his college letters, and Danny never mailed the college letters. He put them in the garbage. So, and the younger brother was like, why would you do that? Like, why would you mess up my future like that? Like, you was that selfish. You didn't want me to go nowhere, so you just threw my stuff in the garbage. So he was like, whatever. And so then when he left out, you heard gunshots. And so it was like, oh my goodness, he was over. I thought it was game over. But then all at the end, so that's what happened before they fell in the ditch or whatever like that. And so after they got out, because the Danny was trying to text the brother. So when the text was all flooding in, the brother said F you and forget you, you're blocked, stuff like that. So we knew he was alive, okay? He was alive. Stuff was coming in saying about Amy, on Amy's side, saying about the lawyer and stuff like that. Like, you'll see my lawyer and all that stuff. That's what was coming in, all the text messages coming in. So then when they was leaving out, they was like in a tunnel or something like that. And then the husband saw him and was like, oh, get away from her, or something. And he shot him. And so Danny ended up in hospital. And Wichita was in hospital too, because of course they was like very done, dehydrated, they needed fluids and stuff like that. So they both ended up in the hospital. And so then Amy went to go see Danny in the hospital, and then she laid on him and stuff like that, whatever. So I believe the husband is basically done with her. So and that's how it ended, basically. So I just gave a brief synopsis, ran over it real quick because it's a lot more details and stuff like that, but that's just the bulk of it. I don't want this video to be too long as well, but that's just basically what happened. My overview of it, it was pretty good. It was, the suspense kept coming and coming and coming. You thought one thing was one thing, but it wasn't. Like when the apartment burned down, or the house burned down, I thought it was the pastor, but it wasn't. I thought it was the pastor, and then I was like, well, maybe it's Amy. It wasn't nobody. It was his faulty wiring. Like, it was his wiring. Something caught fire because the way he wired the electrical stuff in the house, and he didn't even want to tell the younger brother that's what happened. So he kept that to himself, and he even promised his brother that, from now on in, we always tell each other what's going on because of what happened with the situation with Amy being a catfish and stuff like that, because she was sending pictures and stuff like that, and he figured out who he was messaging and stuff like that, and he figured out it was Amy because he had went to this before too. I forgot to put this part in. He had went to the dinner and he befriended the husband, but he named himself something else. So he didn't know that was the guy that Amy kept trying to get back from the road rage and stuff like that. So he, named himself something, and then the husband, grew fond of him and stuff like that. And then, I guess during that time he figured it out that it was Daniel, the guy, the road rage guy, wasn't really such and such or whatever. So anyway, so that was another part I left out, but that's it. But, it's other parts, but but that is it. So the review, I really did like it. It was good. I give it 5 stars. It was very intense. It was very impactful. It was very like a teaching lesson, if you will, because basically this is what can happen or has happened in the world now, because people really don't like with road rage. When I say I have road rage, it's nothing to that extent. It's just like if somebody cut me off, I yell in the car, get mad in the car, whatever, like whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'll be like, oh, whatever. But it's not to the extent to where I'm gonna be like, let me chase them down, let me get them so they can know that they're not supposed to do it. No, because you never know what that person on the on the receiving end, what they are going to do to you. They might turn around and get you because they in fear of their life, and because you coming at them. So how they supposed to react? You don't know what they got, what's going on in their life, and they could snap or whatever the case is, and that's the end of you because you wanted to prove something. You see what I'm saying? And so that's basically what they was doing, trying to prove something to each other, trying to going back and forth, and somebody had to stop, and he was trying to stop, but she did not want to stop. And it's crazy because you have a family, this and that, but she wasn't happy. She wasn't happy with her family. She wasn't happy where she was at. She always felt like she had to fake do stuff, fake smile and stuff like that. So she was basically trying to, I guess, get out of it, or trying to, I don't know what she was trying to do, but you know, she didn't really like the life that she was living, and you could tell, even though she was making a lot of money and stuff like that. So that also shows that money isn't everything, you know. Money does not bring happiness, if you will. So she was, you know, miserable in that extent. And then also finding out that her husband was kind of like emotionally cheating, or doing some sort of cheating, as far as like, you know, talking to the young lady that worked at her shop and stuff like that, like having conversations, but they never did anything. But still, the fact that they was having these conversations behind her back, you know, that was just like, but then she did the big the big shaboom with the you know, she went physical, and then she you know, that's that on that. So yeah, so whatever, and that was bad. That was really bad, you know, like both of it is bad on both ends, but that was just really bad, because then you became intimate and stuff like that. Not saying that he couldn't have gone intimate, but it was still bad on both ends. So, and that was basically it. So they was having a big battle back and forth. I could do this better. I could do this better than you. Blah, 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 blah. It was just like a whole big, like, action pack. Like, it was just back and forth, back and forth. It just kept you on the edge of your seat, and to see what was going on. Because like I said, you didn't know what was going to happen next to me. Because what I thought was going to happen, or who did what, they didn't do it. You see what I'm saying? It's not one of those movies where like, oh, I know such and such did it. Oh, they didn't do it. Oh, they didn't do it either. So, oh, it was his janky wiring. That's why the house burned out. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't, I like the way they did that, because they had you thinking it was one person. They had you think it was another person, but then it was his fault. You see what I'm saying? And then by him saying it was Amy, it made a tumbling domino effect to go and, you know, say something to Amy's husband about that the young man, Danny's younger brother, had sexual relations with Amy or whatever like that. He said it, he confessed it on the Ring doorbell, and Danny was very mad and was like, why did you do that? Like, why did you do that? She's gonna do this. And so he knew it was gonna be like a big blow up after that. So, and it was. So, and that was it with that. So I really do like it. I do recommend you watch it. This was a spoiler alert. But I didn't tell you that much detail, but just enough to where that you want to go watch it. But I think I did a lot, because I did say what happened at the end. So, but if you guys watched it, let me know if you liked it or not. I think there's gonna be another part. I don't know. Like, it's just like, you know, that's what it seems like. 'Cause it's like, and then you're thinking like, so, but what else they're gonna do? Like, what else they're gonna talk about? They're gonna talk about the after effects, or what's gonna happen, and just like, they're not gonna continue to keep doing, you know, the road rage, you know, because they did everything, and it's just like, okay, like, somebody got to be the bigger person and stop, you know. And that's how it is, like, with arguments or beefs or whatever like that. It's just like, somebody has to stop. It's like, y'all both gonna keep doing it, ongoing cycle. Somebody stops. And when that person stops, who you gonna beef with? When that one person stops, who you gonna argue with the air? You gonna fight the air? You gonna punch the air? After that, like, you just gonna continue to, you know, just keep talking about that person, because that person not even paying attention to you no more. So it's like, when you stop paying attention or stop thinking about that person or whatever like that, then you should stop too. Whatever, this gives you a lesson, especially like with beef and arguing with people. Leave it alone. Stop it. If that person not thinking about you, not talking about you, not saying nothing about you, it's because they don't care. They don't care. They don't want nothing to do with you. It's nothing about holding ties about something. Ain't nothing about, because you got this, ain't nothing about that. It's because they don't want nothing to do with you. Nothing. That's like with me. If I don't want nothing. Bye. Ain't got nothing to do with nothing, whatever like that. So when you're holding on to something, that shows that you have no life. Like, them doing all that stuff, it's just like, when did y'all have time to do all this? And they were still trying to, you know, move on with their life, but at the same time, they was thinking about the other person. And it's like, come on, who has all that energy in the world? You could have built a whole shop, right, or a whole store, or a whole business plan, you know, with all that energy. But no, you wanted to bother or keep going with it. Somebody has to stop. And when one person stops, then the next person should be able to stop too, because it's like, who you gonna argue with? Who you gonna argue with? Who? Hello? Who? Like the owl. Who you gonna argue with? That's it. Just stop. That's all you gotta do. Stop. So this is a good teaching video. Series, or yeah, it's a very teaching for people that don't know how to stop. Okay, that don't know how to stop, or that has bad road rage, or have to prove a point. This is it has very good things in it. Okay, very, very good teachable moments in here. So I would definitely recommend it. Definitely go watch it. It's on Netflix. Go get it. Go see it. There's other ways around to see it if you don't want to pay for it. Okay, don't come for me, Netflix, but I'm still saying it's there because it's a Netflix series. But you know what I mean, because Netflix, went up on the price, because they got, people was like, oh, Netflix is like, oh, y'all want to watch Netflix? Okay, we're gonna up it for y'all. No, but it's okay. It's okay. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, so that's it, y'all. Sorry for this long video, but that's just what it is. And I will be back with more videos like this. If you want more videos like this, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and welcome to all my 1 million subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. And that's just basically about that. Yeah, y'all. So be safe out there. Okay, don't have that type of road rage, and keep it cute and keep it cool. And you should be good. Cool as a cucumber. That's it. You shouldn't have to worry about nobody but yourself, or your family members, or your significant others, or anybody that's in your circle or in your vicinity. Worry about them. This is just a stranger on the street. Come on now. Come on. Like, so to me, both of them was in the wrong, but I'm glad it stopped. Both of them was wrong because somebody could have stopped. You see what I'm saying? So that's it. And they could have easily got unalived, But yeah, but that's it, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Any questions, comments, watching. Peace, bye.